I'm Amanda Hansen, and
I am Craig Guest.
and together we are
The Guest Perception Podcast.
And today we have a very special guest. We have Angela, and I've instantly forgotten how to say your last name.
Me too.
Abate. I'm so sorry. I have a sieve brain right now. Kind of reminds me of when I was pregnant. And who else do we have here?
And Chloe.
And little Chloe. Yeah, we have little Chloe. Angela is the author of several, 6 or 7?
7.
7 children's books.
I remember that.
And they are beautifully written and gorgeous illustrations for kids. And Angela, I'm going to open this up to you because you've written 7 books, and why don't you tell us what your books are on?
Okay. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me on your podcast. I'm so honored, and I'm just so happy to be here with my dog, Chloe.
So cute.
Thank you. So back in 2020, during COVID, I started writing children's books, and I found it very therapeutic.
Yeah.
And they're all about mental health, and the topics are things that I've gone through, like with my mental health. Like the first book is called Shy's Worries, and it's all about dealing with anxiety. And it's kind of like what everything that was kind of going on in my life, it kind of like came to life in the books.
Right.
When I got Chloe, I got her specifically for anxiety, and she really helped me so much. Like she's just so therapeutic, and she's just such a beautiful soul, and she just brings me so much joy and peace. And every day, like, I don't go a day without laughing and smiling because Chloe's in my life.
Aw, that's so beautiful.
So
and the 7th book that I wrote, it's thanking God for my dog.
Yeah.
And, if I could grab it, that
Yeah.
Oh yeah, please.
Okay, so my books are all on mental health, and this one, the 7th book, because 7 in the Bible is all about completion, and I wrote this, thank you God for my dog, just really glorifying God for bringing Chloe into my life.
Oh, that's
so
beautiful.
I'd love to read a few little.
Yeah.
Please, yeah,
I would
sure,
love
please
to
share.
hear this.
Okay,
please.
sure. Yeah, let's start off with it, because start off giving thanks,
Yeah.
Okay. I love my dog, yes I do. She cheers me up when I'm feeling blue. That's Chloe on her back, because she really loves belly rubs.
Oh,
So cute.
it is so cute.
You can just see her energy as well. She's just
Look at that. Like, she's so loving and
like
loyal.
Yeah.
I just want to spoil.
Yeah.
Loyal and spoil. There you go. Wow, that's great.
I actually rap. I
you
wrote
really?
a rap called Doggy Superstar, and
What?
it's available on Spotify.
No way.
Oh my God.
That's so
and that's
cool.
part of one of the verses is, so loving and so loyal. It's you I want to spoil. You
That
take
is
away
so
my
cool.
sorrow, and we don't stress about tomorrow.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
geez.
You know what? I'm
Superstar.
such a
That is so
nerd, but
cool.
I got chills. I'm like super nerd. I was like, yeah, that's
Wow.
such a good
From
line.
books to rapper? Jeez.
Okay,
Rolling with my puppy in the
I'm getting excited.
Lambo.
rolling with my puppy in the Lambo.
Wood grain switching lanes, head out the window. Got the bass beats bumping, just like you got my heart thumping. Baby, I'm packing treats 'cause you really love snacking and chewing on your squeaky belly up tummy rub. So happy to see me. Soft, fluffy fur, twinkle in your eyes, a face so sweet you mesmerize. Gotta know it was love at first sight when I held you in my arms so very tight.
All right.
Doggy superstar.
Lucho, we need a backbeat.
You can hear it on Spotify.
Okay, I can't wait to play that.
Oh
That's
my God.
amazing. Okay, go on with your book.
Okay,
We got so much to talk about.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We'll just get this out of the way.
No,
then we can
it's
chat. Then we
beautiful.
can chit chat. Okay. God sent us dogs with wagging tails to show that their love would never fail.
Wow.
Oh.
So cute.
Their playful barks and friendly eyes, a special bond, a precious prize. Chloe in a bear costume, 'cause I call her Chloe Bear. Chloe Bear, not Kardashian. She's dripping in the latest fashion. Part of the rap too.
That is awesome.
They listen close when we're feeling sad. Their silly antics make us glad.
Aw, that's so perfect.
I'm crying, eating pizza, and Chloe is comforting me with tissue.
Aw, did this
What kind
actually
of pizza?
happen?
I need to know what kind of pizza.
Okay, well, this one is actually, you know what? That's a good question. I don't know. I love all types of pizza, really. I mean, the more toppings, the better. I love pineapple on my pizza.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
I love the sweet and salty.
Yeah.
I love I love pizza at the Nook. Nook is good.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
have a really good mushroom pizza. It's called a fungi pizza.
That sounds good.
It's got like a cream sauce and mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Little plug for the Nook. When I'm worried or feeling stress, I turn to God, who's always best. 'Cause God gave us dogs. A protector, a buddy, a companion dear, a gift from God to hold so dear. The love of God helps me through, my loyal dog forever true. That's Chloe and I at the beach. Actually, I met Amanda at this very beach. This is the same beach.
Which beach?
Is it?
Which beach
It's
did you
the
guys
dog
meet?
beach.
The dog beach.
Yeah.
There's a dog beach?
Yeah, there's a dog beach in North Van. Yeah, right behind the auto mall, and that is where we met.
That's so
It is,
cool.
Yeah.
And we just continued to meet over and over and over again. It was the weirdest thing.
So organic.
Absolutely. There's the dog beach again. See
Yeah.
the
So cute.
Vancouver
Yeah,
skyline.
skyline.
Yeah.
So those illustrations, did you like have somebody draw them, or did you
Yes.
like how did you sort of envision that and
Okay, so I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I did have an original illustrator for the first two books,
Mhm.
but it wasn't like he was wonderful. I love the illustrations, but the style I was looking for, like I grew up with like my favorites like Hello Kitty, Strawberry Shortcake, and I really wanted like a chibi style.
Yeah.
So I found someone amazing. Her name is Hannah
Yeah.
Artikyova, and she's my illustrator. And she actually, I found her on Upwork, and she's in the Ukraine. And this past year, she was illustrating even from a bunker in the Ukraine during the war. She lives
Wow.
in Kiev. Yeah. So a big shout out to Hannah. I love
Wow.
you. I
Shout out
love
to
your
Hannah.
Illustrations.
Yeah.
You know, she did not leave the Ukraine. Hannah recently got married in the Ukraine during the war. And I even said, you know, you can come stay with me. But
Yeah.
she didn't want to leave because,
Mm.
you know, men cannot leave.
Yeah. Wow.
And just like God, who will never leave, my dog's presence brings me such relief. Our mental health is important, you see, and our great God holds the key. There's
Mhm.
Chloe's shop. It's called Chloe's Confections, vegan dog treats, and it's on the pier.
Oh, I love it. Do you actually make dog treats?
I actually did start. I
Good.
actually made doggy donuts.
Yeah.
and I called them Chloe's Confections, and they were vegan dog donuts.
Yeah.
But I guess I kind of like. I didn't really. I thought, you know, this is going to be a totally different, like, you know, dog treats is a totally different like,
World.
and I'd need a commercial kitchen to start selling them, and
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
so I think that is kind of like on the back burner for now until
Mhm.
like I'm really focusing on my books and my animated series and just getting it out there.
That's exciting. So what are the names of all of your books?
Okay.
Just to get a vibe of
Sure.
of because we know this one. What are the names of
Yes.
some of your other books?
Okay, so the first book is called Shaya's Worries, and it's all about understanding anxiety, and that's when Chloe comes into our life, and and she helps us with anxiety. And then we discover that Chloe also has anxiety. So we learn like how Chloe copes through.
Okay.
And how much she helped us with ours.
Mm.
And when I say us, I say the daughter in the book, her name is Shia. And the book is called Shia's Worries because she's afraid of the ocean. And Chloe really helped her. The second one is called Sam's Scare. And that one is all on the topic of post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Yeah.
Because I do also suffer from PTSD. So I just wanted to like discuss like the symptoms of PTSD, but in a child-friendly way, told in the perspective of the dogs. And I feel like I'm talking so much. I'm sorry.
No, this is perfect. This is
You're great.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and that one's called, that one, the name is Sam's Scare. And Sam, the son of the single mom that lives in the seaside community, Shipyardville.
Yeah.
So Sam sustains a concussion, and
Okay.
we learn all about like the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder.
Mm.
So that's the second book. And then my third book is called Sparky Sorrow. And that's all about dealing with the 5 stages of grief. And it's based on the Elizabeth Kubler-Ross model. And, you know, we learn about the 5 stages when Sparky loses a friend at the dog park. I was going to actually do a book reading at an elementary school. I won't name the elementary school. But it got canceled at the very last minute because dealing with death, like the topic of a dog dying, was too sensitive
Oh,
of a subject.
that is, I'm sorry. I find that really bizarre because,
Yeah.
you know, like in school, they teach us, you know, all this math and all this, you know, English and, you know, whatever else they go into, and then they don't get into the real meat and bones of, you know, mental health, how to, you know, raise a family, you know, emotional stability. They don't talk about that stuff. And so if they're not willing to talk about the family dog dying when it dies,
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time.
it happens all the time. It seems like such an opportunity lost to capture an audience of kids to, you know, anyhow. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh.
I'm like I'm really curious about because I believe everything comes with a mission.
Yes.
Like there's always just like this one mission that we have, and that mission carries us to. I mean, I recently was looking at your Instagram, and you have 37,000 followers, and that is from pure passion, pure mission, pure determination, and hunger just to really evolve. So and I mean, there's nothing but just love behind what you do. So if you can just kind of share, like, what is your mission behind this? You know, if you could sum this up to sort of like a 1 or 2 sentence, what would you say? What would you tell people?
My mission is to help children with mental health issues and their parents. And, you know, my mission is when you're reading this book to your child, you're also getting a lesson, you're learning something, and you're just like really connecting with your child and just the mission is to like start the conversation.
Yeah, so fascinating because, you know, it really doesn't have to be any more complicated than that.
Right?
You know, us as humans, we always tend to overcomplicate. We're always, you know, and I do it as well with things. I'm like, but what if, but what if, but what if? But realistically, the more I learn, it like to apply simple technical sort of matters into anything. It really just comes down to such a simple, you know, journey.
Totally. Like I really felt like I really knew that children like lose pets all the time. And I felt like this would have been so great to read to a school, you know.
Yeah.
And I love like helping children, and I love when I see how excited they are. Like even when I pick up my child from school, I have like some little fans there because I do have my books are in the library there.
Yeah.
So
But
cool.
they will like run up to me and they're like, "Love the merch," or they'll be like,
Aw.
"She's like," it's really so adorable. Like it's
Yeah.
very cute. And I was doing a few book readings like in the shipyards at
Yeah.
Cafe Artigiano.
Yeah.
Cafe Artigiano.
Yeah.
Which they're so great and supportive, and they're
Yeah.
like anytime you want to read books on our patio to children. So I had some really great turnouts, and I had some kids that were just like so fascinated, and they wanted to learn more how to write a book, and
Mm-hmm.
and they were asking me like questions about being an author, and
Wow.
that just really brought me a lot of joy that I could make an impact in a child's life.
Yeah,
Like,
you feel it like just
I
like
feel it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and what I do whenever I'm trying to do something, I'm trying to just create that like it all starts from here. It
Yeah.
all starts from here.
And so what was that moment like in your life? We kind of discussed, some topics on our way here, but I'm
Right.
curious, what was it in your life that kind of you said that these were based off of some of your experiences. At what point in your life did you kind of get to that place where you're like, I'm at this point where it's a breaking point, and this, like what pushed you to the breaking point to decide that you wanted to, pursue this? Was there something?
Absolutely. There was absolutely something, and that something was something very divine. Like I get goosebumps and shivers even thinking about it. But I started Pups on the Pier as I was on the. I used to. Oh, this. I was just coming out of a divorce, a very messy divorce, and I lived right by the pier,
Mhm.
and I would always. I just got a brand new dog, Chloe, and I'd always go to the pier and watch sunsets with the other dogs and owners, and I didn't realize how much sense of community that owning a dog brings.
Right.
I got so many like new friends that had little dogs that were Chloe's friends, and it's like we formed a bond. And it was during COVID, so a lot of things were closed down, and
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't feel like where anything was shut down, on the pier and in the shipyards, because it's such a community there. And
Yeah.
I really felt like, because it's in the open air, it's reminiscent of like Europe, like the piazzas where people gather and they
Yeah.
go, and that's how I felt. And I'd be on the pier and I'd see all these dogs, and I was just like, pups, look at all these pups on the pier. And then I'm like, Pups on the Pier, that's such a good name.
Yeah,
And
it
then
is.
I would just keep saying Pups on the Pier, and then I'm like, I got to start an Instagram, Pups on the Pier. And I'm like, I need to do it. And I took all these videos of so many dogs, and I'd play them on the Instagram and tag everyone. And that's how I grew, because people loved it, because their
Yeah.
dogs were on
Yeah.
an Instagram reel,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
or in my stories, and I'd have pictures of their dogs, like the dog of the day and
Mhm.
all this. So I was obsessed, because I've never had a dog before Chloe.
Right.
So I was absolutely obsessed with taking pictures and videos of dogs.
Yeah.
So that's all going on, Pups on the Pier. And then I had a friend that was like very very spiritual, and he's a pastor now. He became a pastor. And one night when we were on the pier with our dogs, because his dog and my dog,
We're dog friends.
yeah, dog friends, he asked me, like, anything you want to pray for, like, what would it be? And I think I was just kind of lost, because I just came out of this divorce. I wasn't working. I was just like, I kind of like gave up my life to be a wife and a
Mhm.
mother, and I just didn't. I lost who I was.
Lost
Like,
yourself.
I
yeah.
lost myself. My life was just
Being a mom.
being a mom and being a wife, and my life wasn't for me. Like, it was like,
For
like
someone else.
for someone
Yeah.
else, and I was like along. So I'm like, I really need to if I'm going to pray for anything, I want to pray for my career. Like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, I need to figure something out, like something that brings me joy and passion, because I was always doing things, like my background's in human resources, and I was just always like in an office, and I was so miserable and sad, and I would go home crying with migraines and just from the fluorescent lighting and just like office politics, and you know there's always like bullying, like some
Somebody's
you know,
upset with
authority,
something.
like
Yeah.
something, people power tripping. Like it was just like so toxic, the environments that I've been in. So I just wanted to work for myself, and I didn't want to have to like, you know. So anyway, after the very, very, very intense prayer for my future career, I literally had a dream. The next day I woke up and I saw a vision in my dream, and it was actually the Pups on the Pier logo. It was an anchor with it was a gold anchor with circle around it, and it had 3 dogs at each point. And I literally drew that. I drew it out like on a piece of paper, and I contacted like a graphic artist the very next day. I'm like, I need this logo. And then I thought, Pups on the Pier Instagram, that's going to be my logo.
Yeah.
And then I had it made, and I started like having that logo. And then I had a woman come to me that, you know, she's one of the neighbors in the area, and she used to work in the legal department for Disney. And she's like, you need to get this trademarked. So I did. I got a trademark for any like Pups on the Pier. I really went over the top, but I just really believed in it. And I thought like songs were coming into my head, like the theme song came into my head. So I ended up hiring a producer and got an album, a children's album done.
Yeah, you've done a lot. I actually listened to some of the songs, and I just thought to myself, wow, I thought that I was going to be listening to Raffi, which Raffi is amazing.
Right?
Raffi is amazing. But the songs that you produced or that you have had created, they're actually very musically like peaceful, and you know, like to have that playing for your children. I was and the lyrics are incredible.
That was my goal.
Yeah, I really loved it. I was like, wow, this is actually. And I went around my house singing the song, whatever the song was, laughing at myself, just being like, wow, I wonder, like, could you imagine if kids actually listened to this music, how different their lives would have been?
Yes, that's exactly why that's why I did what I did, because I thought, okay, I'm tired. When I had little kids, I was tired of listening to the same old annoying songs. And then you have them in your head like,
and they don't even make any sense.
Yeah, like do 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 do. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Baby Shark.
But but I thought, you know, I want to make songs that I'm gonna love, that I want to listen to.
Yeah.
So that's exactly the goal. I'm like, I want songs that parents are going to love and that they're going to want to play over and over, because kids want to play songs over and over again.
Yeah. And to have that repetitive, you know, sentences and lyrics to the song that are all positive, and it would just allow another place for them to draw on in experience, to just be like, oh, what's that lyric from that song? You know what I mean? And it, because they really are life lessons, lyrics.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
I was going to comment on that, because I think, you know, in like with so many lyrics and so many so much different music, there's always some sort of connection of, you know, our past and then where we are at now in the future, and you know, it's so fascinating that, you know, you mentioned you sing it for yourself, but realistically you're singing it for somebody else, because somebody else is having that same experience. That, you know, I mean, I find experiences are patterns, right? And we all have, you know, different seasons and different patterns and different ways that we experience. But, you know, ultimately when you create something for your journey, it affects so many other people, because it's just the sense of connection.
Absolutely. That's right on point. Like, especially that the one song Doggy Superstar.
Yeah.
I really wanted the West Coast rap vibe, like Cali. Like I just remembered the days where I loved listening to Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and
Yeah.
I just like I want like that vibe with that little like
Yeah, the little
you know that little you know
the
what
little hoochie poochie. A little hoochie poochie.
yeah, like it's got a little bit of that I can't
R&B kind of.
well, what's it called? You know how it has that like it's like a high pitched whistling sound like in like Dr. Dre and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
doo
yeah.
doo, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted that in the
I
background.
wanted that in the song like well, when you hear it you'll know what I'm talking about and even like the lyrics they're inspired by a lot of like 90s rap.
And you wrote all these songs?
I wrote Doggy Superstar. I wrote my very first pup.
Okay.
And I had a few collaborators with some other songs. I also
And where can people find these on Spotify? But what's your Spotify?
yeah, so the Spotify is called Pups on the Pier Ocean Vibes. And the producer of my album is Jennifer Hirschman, and we wrote a few songs together. Also, I have an amazing song that I think is going to blow Baby Shark out of the water.
Okay.
And it's called Be Kind. And that is written by Dasha Postnikov. And it's accompanied by, the arrangement is by Yves Frula. I don't want to like mess up anyone's name, but it's so amazing. She wrote it and she sang it. But it's like, I can't do it justice. I do sing 2 songs on the album, but I don't want to like butcher the song, but it's like every day I have a choice how I want to learn or how I want to use my voice. Give a wink, give a smile. It's so easy to be kind. And we sing do 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 do.
Aww.
That's so cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's very cute
beautiful.
song.
I see you guys got some, like you brought some sort of merchandise you got here. Like what do you know? There's like, and you got this
You have
red bag you
books.
bought and books and
Yeah.
you know, like what
merch
can you
do you
share
sell?
with us?
Sure. Well, okay. So aside from books, I also have book bags, and this is one. It's called. It's on pupsonthepier.com, but it says "Sprinkle kindness wherever you go."
Oh my God,
Yeah, that's one
cutest
of the book
thing in the
bags.
world.
Yeah, that's
So
adorable.
you got bags, you got what else? What else? Like shirts? Like
I have-
what can I order? I
Sure.
want to order some stuff now.
Aw. I have book bags. I have T-shirts and hoodies.
Yes.
And yeah,
And books and your
books.
amazing
Yeah,
books.
hoodies, T-shirts.
And do you ship across Canada? And where
So-
can you buy it? Where can you buy them? All through
Sure.
your Instagram?
Yeah, all through my website, pupsonthepier.com, and they are shipped all over Canada, and it's through Shopify. So
Yeah.
So it's quite, it's cool.
So one thing that a topic that this brought up for me was I was having this conversation with somebody else. I don't even know if they were a mom, but I was kind of giving an explanation as to where I am in my life right now. And I kind of could look at how when I started to have my kids, I just became really focused on them, just like you were
Yes.
talking about earlier. And so something that I've recently experienced now that my kids are getting so much older is it's almost as if I've went back to before I had kids
Yes,
and kind of like picked up the ball again.
absolutely.
That makes sense, right?
So much.
So this isn't just me. I've spoken to a lot of other women that this has happened to, and based off of what we talked about on our way here and kind of what I got from you, it sounds a lot like now that your kids are getting older,
yeah.
you're doing the deep digging, because we unfortunately weren't the generations that healed ourselves and then had children.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I've now had to raise 3 children, being unhealed and a very wounded child, raising children. And then now I am at a place in my life where I can look back and hindsight and just be like, wow, like I was capable of so much, but emotionally and mentally where I was just not where I am today at all. Even though I was accomplishing so much more then, my understanding of life, and it's just like, it seems like now you're at this perfect place yourself where you can just kind of dig into your own inner stuff.
It's fascinating because, you know, your past determines your future as well, you know? Like, because without your past, you wouldn't be able to give what you could give today.
Yeah,
You know?
100%. But I feel like as women and as mothers, it's almost like we get halted as soon as we have kids.
Totally.
And then I'm witnessing now a lot of people who had kids earlier on kind of doing their evolution now.
Absolutely, because also, like, when we were growing up, we didn't, like, this is another big reason why I'm really into, like, helping children with their mental health, because we didn't have this when we were kids. I know that our generation, and you kind of just, like, you know, sucked it up or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we became parents, we became moms. And being a mom to young children is so emotionally exhausting.
Yeah.
And especially if you, like, I was just so over diligent, and I was just too much. Like, I was a helicopter parent. I had so much anxiety after I had children, because my whole purpose is keeping them alive.
Yeah,
Right? It's
yeah.
like keeping them alive, keeping them safe, keeping them healthy. It was like,
It's crazy, right?
It was crazy.
I feel like I went into that overdrive too. I can remember getting on the airplane the first time with my daughter back in the day when they had the little bassinets that you could click into that front row. So you had like a little bed, as if your baby's going to sit in this freaking bassinet, like what kind of, you know, drugged maybe, you know. And I can remember got in on the plane and I like sanitized everything. If anybody sneezed, this is like, you know, 20 years before COVID. And I was like, oh, you know, like I would just scowl at them for sneezing. I was just like, you're going to make my life hell. Sneeze on my baby.
And do you remember too, like, you, of course, like, when I was pregnant, like, there was H1N1. So we really did have, like, I became a germaphobe. I didn't want people around my children. If they were sneezing, I didn't want, like,
and the hand and foot thing that the kids would get, like, lice. Jeez Louise. Dogs are definitely the easier go. Personally, I just go for the kitty cats now, because they are just.
Well, Cash is pretty cool.
He's very cool.
Yeah, Cash is he's a good dog.
He's a good dog. He's just like super like a human, right? I already have 3 humans that I've birthed, and he's like a 4th human that I didn't birth, and I don't know. I'm just.
Well, as soon as he's seen me, he's just like.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why is he making all these kind of, I don't know what like, is he sleeping? Is he awake?
Excited.
Is he like?
He's excited. He snorts when he's excited. He snorts when he's excited, and he's like legitimately excited a lot of the time. So he's a pretty simple dog.
I'd be
He's
excited
very
living in
sweet.
North Van too.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good life.
Yeah, North Van's a good spot.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
it's
we
beautiful.
so this was the other thing. So we live in the same area, I would say, like within 15 blocks or so of each other. And the amount of times that we ran into each other was pretty weird in the 2 years since I think you started Pups on the Pier, because I don't think you had the books yet when I first met you.
Right.
And then we just ran into each other again, and then again, and then again. And then we had 2 mutual friends in common. I'm sure that there's a long list more.
Yeah.
Those also cross paths, and both those people connected to me, like, oh, you know the person, you know Angela, and then the other Ryan, he connected to me, he's like, you know my friend, and I was like, yeah, I do. So there was just so many different things, and I'm slow learner. Like we've ran into
Me
each
too.
other, 5 or 6 times. I'm like, maybe there's something over there that I should be, connecting with. And, here we are today on the
Yeah.
podcast, which is amazing. And this is something that you've also wanted to pursue yourself
Yeah.
and do your own podcast, right? Like you've been
Yeah.
wanting to do this,
Totally.
and maybe this is something that, we'll just have to get a big pink backdrop in here and see if
Yeah.
we can,
with a puppy on it.
help for like other
Chloe.
people in Vancouver that are
Right.
local, that are like you and I, that want to do these podcasts
Exactly.
and want to talk about important things. Your podcast is not about your art, your books, but still you're such a dynamic person, right? So you can.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to.
Well, I love there's books, there's rap.
There's raps, there's
Like that,
songs.
like what? Like from children's artists.
And now she
books
wants to do
rap?
a podcast on something
That's so
completely
cool.
different.
Yeah, the podcast is on something different. It's a little, it's a project that I'm doing on the side with a friend. So,
You don't need to talk
Yeah.
about. You don't
Yeah, you
need.
can-
You can keep it secret, but you can say that you're working on it.
yeah, I'm
And
working
So
on
stay
now
tuned.
we might have
Stay
a producer for this exciting podcast, because maybe Lucho can be the producer for this, because I just think obviously we
Yeah.
have a really great setup here.
It's beautiful here. I love the setup.
It is really good, and I think that it's like Craig and I were talking about ourselves, how we both independently wanted to do podcasts, but we were like, how do you do a podcast? And it's and then I had met with Ryan, and Ryan and I who's your mutual friend, and we had tried to do a podcast, and then that didn't end up working out. And then here we all are, right? And it's funny,
Yeah.
no
It's-
accidents.
It's
exactly.
it's a lot of work to, and we were here last night. I think I posted on Instagram. We were here last night at 9 o'clock, and just setting this up, making sure it's good. He's really good with the visual. Lucho's really good with the visual aspect of things, and it's amazing how much it encompasses. To kind of deal with something like this, to make it visually good, and
Right.
really always stay with the mission. I think the mission is important for. In regards to anything, because when you're mission based, there's nothing that will stop you. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and so the mission for us was to create a little bit of awareness around autism, let people have talk about their topics, but also to discuss
mental health.
Yeah.
And the real meat of the thing I was always curious about was, because I was going through so much, and I've been through so much in my life, and I always thought that when I was going through it, like when you were kind of at your lowest low, did you see that as an opportunity, or at the time, because I didn't, and then
Right.
every time after, I'd always be like, oh wow, I really bounced off of that. And I feel like that was like a highlight I wanted to bring into the podcast of when we hit these lows in our life, how do we bounce back from them?
Absolutely, because without these struggles, we don't learn. Like, we need these struggles to learn and to bounce back even even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find that any things that I've gone through that I thought, oh, this is so terrible, I just felt like it's only made me stronger. It's only given me more knowledge, more inspiration, more learning, and it's brought me to a higher level.
Wow.
And without those, I wouldn't be at that level, spiritually.
You used it. You used it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've learned so much, and I'm so grateful just for the air in my lungs.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for this creation that, I'm so grateful every single day. And it just,
What is
I
your,
think-
I'm curious, what is your morning routine?
well, I pray.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually, so I do share custody with my ex-husband. So I do, that's another reason how I got into this too, because I found myself with so much like spare time, like, and I started writing, and that's why I got Chloe, because I was worried that I'm gonna really miss the kids and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's my third child. She's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
baby. Like, she really is like a child. I love her. I keep saying, because my mom calls her the dog, and I'm like, do not call her the dog. That's Chloe. Don't refer to her as the dog.
The
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, like,
The girl?
who says that? Like, the dog? Like,
Yeah.
she's Chloe.
Yeah.
She's Chloe. She's part of my family.
Yeah.
So,
So is she a 50% shareholder in the business then, or?
Yeah, yeah. She's got some stock options for sure. Exercise those. Exercise those options.
well, see, my mornings aren't complete with. So when I do have my son, I walk him to school with Chloe, and we go on a nice walk, and we like say some prayers, and yeah, and when I'm on my own, like I walking is a very big part of my day, like, and that's actually so good for my mental health and for Chloe's, and we do like a 2-hour walk every morning. Wow. And yeah, and we do an afternoon walk as well. And yeah, and then I work on my books, and I really love being in the sun.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
I love to work on the beach.
When you guys came in, like, I was watching the dog's energy, and I would like as soon as you moved, she would move.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't move, she's not moving.
No,
Like,
they're
like,
very bonded.
I was like, holy, like that type of dog, like this bond
Yeah.
here, you can see, like, she's always looking for you, like
Oh.
100%. Like, I was like,
Always.
man, like this is
That
like,
gives me anxiety. That honestly, it gives me that's what my dog does, and it gives me so much anxiety.
Really?
I love
Why?
it. Oh, because I just don't want to be needed.
Oh.
You know, I think I think that I'm at that stage in my life where I'm like the child that needs to break free.
Oh, jeez.
You know, I'm like, I appreciate it, and I can,
Yeah.
and I find it very endearing. I want nothing to do with it.
When I walk down this, like, we like to go to the beach, and when I walk down the rocks, she goes first, and then she looks and she watches every step that I don't
Yes.
fall.
Yeah.
She really, like, we have this very strong bond also, because I believe that, well, the first week after I got Chloe, I actually I fell off my bicycle.
Oh.
Yeah, on the Spirit Trail, and I broke my leg. I had a fractured tibia, so I was in a cast,
Oh no.
and she was only a few weeks old. Like,
Oh, wow.
she was a brand new puppy. Oh, look at her face. She's so cute. She was a brand new puppy, so I couldn't walk her. And for
Yeah.
6 weeks, she was like,
You must have felt terrible.
yeah, like she was glued onto my
Yeah.
healing leg, for 6 weeks. And I ended up, my mom had an amazing idea. She's like, you should get a scooter. So I got a knee scooter, and it was the best thing ever. And I had a basket in the front. So I put Chloe in the basket,
Oh,
and I would roll around.
That's
It was
amazing.
amazing.
That is the best.
Yeah, it was good. So I think she really, we formed a very strong bond.
Yeah.
And she, if she sees someone that's injured, or she gravitates to them, even if she notices someone sad, she'll go, and that's what I love too. She'll literally go up to random strangers. She's always going up to men though. and starts and just jumps on their lap and cuddles. Oh, I'm sorry, I moved her. She's like,
Oh,
yeah. So she's very protective.
Yes.
Sure. Oh, she wanted to get up.
Yeah, she's gonna go have a little
Oh,
visit.
She stretched.
Well, no, she is honestly,
Oh,
she's
she's so
super cute, and so your kids obviously adore the dog as well.
They love her, but they're jealous of her.
Yeah, yeah.
They're you love her more.
Yeah, she gets a lot of attention, I can tell for sure.
Well, if they raise their voices or anything or talk back to me, she goes
She growls?
She goes
Oh,
nuts.
really?
She barks at them. She growls. She doesn't.
Okay.
She won't stand for any disrespect against mommy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
the kind of
so
dog
so this
I
is
have.
inspiring, actually. Maybe I should dote on my dog a little bit more, and then when my son's
Right?
naughty, then he'll maybe bark at him.
Yeah,
You know, like an additional parent, an additional parent.
it's so true.
So, okay, so what other big plans do you have? So you've written 7 books. Obviously, that's massive. And you have, you know, some clothing, a bag, and things like that. You're going to do the podcast. What's in that little bag there? Is that a little keychain that you have? What is this?
Yes.
I'm loving that it's gold.
This
I'm
is a
like so drawn to
keychain.
this thing.
Yeah, it's for you. And actually, I wanted to bring something for both of you.
Aw.
So a book, and like you can decide which.
You get the book.
I'm taking both.
Oh my gosh.
And the keychain has the QR code to Doggy Superstar.
Oh my gosh. I love
thank you so much.
this.
You know, I want to tell you a quick little story.
Please.
That's actually Chloe's face on
I
that
love
keychain.
this. Where's my camera? There's little Chloe in there. So cute.
That is actually
So,
really cute.
you know who else owns that keychain?
Who?
Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child.
Oh,
No
what?
way.
So I was.
Wow.
What?
It's a funny story. Do we have time? It's
Yeah.
not too long.
Yes, please.
Okay, so Chloe and I were in the shipyards, of course, by the pier, and there was this lovely, beautiful woman, and she's like, "Can I hold your dog?" And I'm like, "Sure," and so anyway, she started like holding Chloe and hugging her, and she's like, "Oh, this dog should have been on set with me because they were filming a film."
Okay.
Yeah, in the shipyards they were filming, and I was like, "Oh, you know, like," and I'm like, "Oh, I love her so much. I even wrote a song about her." And then I'm like, "Do you want to hear it?" And she's like, "Sure." And then I let Michelle Williams hear my song. But I didn't know it was Michelle Williams. So then her crew
love
was
that.
there, and they're like, "Oh, we got to get this on video." So they got it on video of Michelle holding Chloe, dancing. She was grooving. She loved Doggy Superstar. I know
Wow.
it. She was dancing.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, "Oh, I have it. It's on my Instagram actually." And then and that happened, and then her camera guy said, one of her people said, "Oh, I'll send it to you if you want." I'm like, "Sure, yeah, send it to me." So I gave him my number. He sent me the video, and then I posted it on my Instagram. And then all of a sudden I had all these people messaging me. They're like, "You know, that's Michelle Williams, right?" I'm like, "What?" They're like, "From Destiny's Child." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Destiny's Child was like my favorite group ever when I was
Growing up.
Like I used to listen to all their songs." And I'm like, "Destiny's what?" And then yeah, it was her. So
That is so amazing. And so she ended up buying, or you gave her one of your keychains.
Yeah, so I lived right by the pier at the time, so I just literally went upstairs and I got the keychains and I gave it to Michelle and the staff, and now I notice that she has a new dog. And her new dog looks just like Chloe.
Oh, no way.
Oh my God.
Okay, so what a small world, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that goes to like basically back to how we kept running into each other and how
Yes.
we have these synchronicities in life, you know,
Yes.
like these experiences that we perceive as being terrible, and then
Mhm.
we overcome them and they turn
Right.
out to something beautiful. I always feel like these
Yeah.
meetings of people, they have greater meaning. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And I
yes, for
feel
sure.
like, you know, like what I'm getting from that is definitely pursue more music with your children's books. You know, just the fact that you ran into her
Yeah.
just makes me think that maybe there's more of a, you know, a tie in the music industry there with, you know, for you for some reason, because it's almost like validation.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah, it kind of like looks to me like, you know, there's more musical validation. And your books are absolutely beautiful, and I think that they're so desperately needed right now.
Thank you so much. And Sorry, I went off on a tangent with
No.
Destiny's Child, but I
I think
want
it's
to
a great
answer your
story.
last question. 'Cause
Yeah.
you asked what else I was doing. Okay, so I also have a series pitch deck. I already pitched to Nickelodeon, and it's an animated series called Pups on the Pier.
Yay!
And it's not what they're looking for right now. It's all good. It was just my first pitch, but I know there's plenty more pitches. And I also have an animated 90-minute feature film. I did hire a professional screenwriter, and it's called Pups on the Pier, and it's a mental health film. And I'll give you a quick little teaser, but a developer wants to build a cloud factory over the pier to cause doom and gloom all over the beautiful seaside community and take away everyone's happiness and joy. And the pups on the pier are going to save the day.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's almost like a Care Bears kind of vibe, right?
I kind of like thought Paw Patrol in my, and because I'm all
You
about
thought
the-
Care Bears?
You know,
Because remember they
Care
ride
Bears,
in those
Paw
clouds?
Patrol.
Yeah.
I see. I never watched Paw Patrol because my kids are a little bit older, but I noticed every other kid was glued to Paw
Yeah,
Patrol.
yeah.
And another reason why I really loved your books, and I think that these movies and cartoons, I think that this is amazing, is because there's not enough of this for kids that is positive, healthy, and actually going to create an outcome that we want to see in society,
Yes.
because like when my kids were young, they used to watch Caillou. Caillou is a bald, whiny child
Same with
that
mine.
does nothing but throw hissy fits, and my children were not allowed to watch Caillou. I could not do
Jeez.
Caillou,
Yeah.
because he would like whine and complain, and I
Yeah.
was just like, what are you teaching the kids? Like, obviously they're like, well, that didn't work. Well, I saw Caillou just do a full meltdown. I'm going to
Yeah.
try that one
Yeah,
next.
yeah.
So it's nice to have books out there that are going to be, helping kids understanding that, yes, we do have depression. Our parents do split up. I can remember being
Yeah.
really young and, having to navigate divorce and,
Yes.
now obviously I'm like, oh, I get it. I understand why my mom is divorced,
Totally. Yes.
But at the time I was like, why, So I think that these are really great things to bring up, and you've got a daughter yourself, so you'll get to read her this beautiful book.
I know. I'm
Oh,
I'm
that's
actually super excited. Like, this
wonderful.
is gonna be, yeah. I mean, this is like, honestly, this kind of stuff gives me goosebumps.
Oh my god.
I love, like, I'm when something is so meaningful and it has so much passion and it has just
A
the
purity,
mission of
a
just
purity too.
yeah, it's just
Thank
it's so
you.
pure.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so pure that these are the kinds of things that excite me the most. Is just the pure.
Because what are you going to get out of this? Like, you're not like, selling all these books to become a millionaire.
No.
You're
Right.
selling these books because you want to see a difference in the world. And I think
Yeah.
that this is where people get really confused.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? And then they don't understand, well, hey, if you pursue making a difference in the world just because you genuinely want to see others doing well, thriving, and being happy, then perhaps the universe will grant you financial prosperity. Not
Yes,
saying, but
yes.
there's that possibility there. I
Yep.
think sometimes people get really caught up in the dollar,
Yes.
Yeah.
you
I
know,
agree.
the dollar
100%.
amount. And
Totally.
and so, and just to like one last thing, about this podcast is just like people get really caught up in the dollar amount, but don't worry about the dollar amount. Just, if it's meant to be, it's going to be. You just have to put your, just keep doing what you want to do. If you want to do a podcast, contact us. We'll, help you make a podcast. Don't let the financial aspect of things like, oh, how am I going to make money right away? Just pursue the passion. The rest will kind of
Yes.
follow,
The mission.
you know.
Absolutely.
Make it a mission.
Yeah, make it a mission. And then, I think that it's like the rainbow,
Totally. And then, obviously mental health for children, that's like the number one. But I also want to like send the message to women, especially moms, that you can do what you put your mind to, and you can take your traumas from the past and you can turn them around and make them like help, you can help others with that.
Yeah.
And that's just so valuable for your own healing and for your purpose in life, and just like helping others. Like I just really want to help other women.
Love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
You know?
And your experience, because through those challenging times,
Yeah.
you gained experience, and that experience, you can't teach that in schools.
Exactly.
Like when I was in some really bad relationships, and I can go see therapists, but unless a therapist has actually been in that exact or a similar relationship, I just can't even trust that they're going to understand the amount, the capacity at which, the warfare is going on.
Absolutely.
Because it's hard to imagine, right? Like people look at me and they're like, wow, she's went off the rails, or, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, actually you have no idea what this sort of abuse does. And I had no idea. I'm blown away every day.
Yeah.
And you are too, right?
Yeah.
Like it's mind boggling. Like,
absolutely.
So with certain types of abuse, the defragging and the coming back together, it's a really wild process.
Yeah. And, feeling confident that you can achieve what you put your mind to, and just going for your own dreams.
Yeah.
And that is like,
And not building up someone else's.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
exactly.
I love this part. Like
absolutely.
this.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%.
Yeah, and you're the
I
dad.
am-
You're the dad. We're the
Absolutely.
moms, and
I
we
love
get
you
it.
know,
We
this-
get it.
Yeah.
Like, I love it,
This, oh my God, guys, this episode is just, it's given me something inside, up and down, and I can't even explain it. Just the joy of sitting beside this lovely human and what she's doing, and it just brings tears to my eyes, and I'm so excited for what she has to come, and you're such a beautiful person, like
Oh my gosh.
you're just
thank you.
I felt I can usually sense energy pretty quick, and your
Thank
energy
you.
is just beautiful. So thank you for
So
being
it's
here,
yours.
and
Thank you
Yeah.
for
You
having
as well.
me.
Thank you
I'm
for showing
so,
up.
I'm
Yes, of
so delighted to
course.
be here. Seriously.
Yeah.
And guys, like, I mean, really, we're gonna be posting all the links here for all of Angela's what she's got going on, and I mean, please share the message for our viewers and whoever's out there, because it's really, this is meaningful to me. Because mental health is a big thing, and as you all know, my ADHD and autistic, that's a big part of who I am, and I think mental health is something that we all have to really think about and consider, and just learn more about, and try to have more awareness of. So I just want to leave it at that, and really just say thank you again, and please, we want you to get wherever you want to go, so we're here for you.
Wow. Thank you so much. All I could think about when you said that is, okay, the next book is on ADHD.
Aw,
Yes. And
yeah.
dogs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be amazing.
Oh,
Because
you're
you know
so
what?
sweet. I'm so happy to meet you.
Well, I just, it's
I
for me, it's
mean-
so deep. Like, like this, everything that I do
Yeah.
and every journey that I have is so deep. So,
Yeah.
it's
Same.
there's much more to it than just a podcast. And I think
I know.
a lot of people forget that, it's hard, but it's worth it.
Absolutely. That's how I feel every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Super grateful. And thank you so
Wow.
much. Thank you,
You
Craig,
guys are
for
amazing.
closing out with such beautiful words. And I appreciate you so much. Yeah. And I just want to, recommend, if anybody has, young kids and birthdays coming up, just look up Angela. The links will be on our Instagram. You can purchase her books and support a local artist and author and dog mom, entrepreneur, podcaster, and the list goes on and on. So just want to say thanks so much, Angela, for coming in, and love to have you again back soon.
For
My
sure.
pleasure. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for this day. I'm just so grateful. I thank you so much, Amanda, for inviting me, and I thank God for meeting, like for us connecting. Meeting. It's absolutely this. Everything happens,
Very divinely,
very
right?
divinely. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that,
Thank
guys,
you.
we're gonna leave it, and we'll catch you in the next coming weeks. And we've got some real cool stuff coming up. So take care, guys. Much love to you guys, and stay safe out there.
See you next week.